Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 265, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release it on all podcast services. So do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, subscribing, commenting, what have you, on our Twitch page, CFG Games, or on YouTube at the CFG, or go to our main website, freaksgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davies Green, and with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Pop in the second seat. What's going on, Pop? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I've had a very interesting week. A little bit with summer break, even though I don't have to deal with the kids. We do have some administrative things to do and take care of. In terms of gaming, I'm super excited for the PSO2 NGS update that's coming up. We are finally getting an AC scratch for some Sonic stuff. We'll be able to get some gear to dress up like Tails, Shadow, or Sonic. But I'm more excited for the Revival AC scratch to celebrate Sega's 65th, where I'll be able to get some of the missing items for the cosmetics in the game, such as the Onomichio head. I already have Ichiban's bat, Majima's knife, the Jet Set radio cosmetics. I am missing some of the Persona cosmetics, so this scratch will definitely fill in those gaps, and I'll be all dripped out.
Nice. You know what they need to do? They need to add, they have mounts in PSO, right? Like riding mounts and stuff.
No, you can glide.
Oh, okay. Well, they need to have like a glider that's shaped as either the car from Crazy Taxi or from like Outrun 2 or something like that. That would be kind
They
of
should do that. I think a Crazy Taxi glide car would be hilarious, but I would probably annoy everyone that I play with. I already have, so my dash is just my character riding a sled.
That's funny. That is hilarious. Hey, just call me Z PSO 2 talk. I'm reinstalling. That's good enough. You know what? Here's my thought. Sega, this is absolutely free. You need to have a Crazy Taxi 2 glider, and then when they're doing it, when they're gliding, they need to do that piece of the song where they do ay, and then it's all go all crazy.
They need to add that as a disc in the game, but I feel like too many copyright issues would appear.
Is it going to be copyright? Because I mean, that's Sega's song. Is that Sega's
I played
music?
the original Crazy Taxi with that song in it, and my Twitch video got flagged, so I didn't get a copyright strike, but it got muted so quick.
Wow. Okay, that would have been perfect.
Somebody's watching.
I want to ride the Bear Daigo beat up. The Bear Daigo beat up. I don't know who that is. I'm thinking Kuma like from Tekken, but I don't know. You got to explain a little bit more to that. I'm actually interested in that one, but we'll go from there.
I'm curious about that because Daigo never beat up a bear. That's what's funny.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, I don't recall any either, but no, you please inform us. I'm really interested in knowing what you mean there.
There's a bear fight later on in the games, but
maybe in Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
No, for Yakuza.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it meant Daigo, like the fighter Daigo, like Street Fighter Legend Daigo. That's what I was thinking. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, what? Okay, I didn't know that time.
I'm assuming it's Yakuza talk since we were talking about PSO.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Saijima,
my bad. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. Okay, cool. Hey, but you know what, Pop? You know the person who decides to go 24/7 on a like a whole horror flick the night before and is just like dedicated to come in even after no sleep. It's clearly someone specific. It's the 5-star general of the Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, who needs sleep? 4 hours is good enough for me. Nah, we did. So we celebrated my daughter's 11th birthday last week. She had a birthday party yesterday, and she had a friend stay the night. And something that she's talked about for a while now is doing a horror marathon. Sorry, I have the hiccups.
Yeah, it's okay.
Is doing the horror marathon. So we did it last night, and her friend, he fell asleep like instantly during the first movie. We started with The Shining. We watched The Shining.
Oh my
Then
God.
No. I was like, all right, we're gonna progressively go and kick it up a notch. So we watched The Shining, we watched The Blair Witch Project, and we watched Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
Oh my God.
No. So he ends up waking up during the Blair Witch Project and does not fall back asleep. So I'm like, I cannot let these kids just be up by themselves. So I got to stay up. So mom didn't wake up till like 6. Came out. I was like, hey, is there any way? She was like, oh my gosh, have you been up this whole time? And I was like, yes. I was like, I did not trust them to be up by themselves and not get into shenanigans. So daddy stayed up. Needless to say, I took a little nap. I went to sleep around 6, like I said, and got up at 10 because I had in my head that we were starting at normal time today. And I can't remember if you had said something about it. I know we had talked about it when talking about possibly moving the podcast, but I couldn't remember like whatever. So I was like, just to be sure, I'm just gonna get up at 10 like normal and assume that. Hit up Davis. It's like 11:45 now, and I'm like, hey, we doing this? We doing podcast still? He's like, oh yeah. At 2 though, I'm busy right now. And I was like, oh crap. I was like, my bad. I was like, all right, dude. I was like, no problem. I was like, not too much longer that I have to stay awake. And then I hit him up and I'm like, hey, is there any way? Because usually I do dinner on Sundays. And Scorp Kitty said, hey, I can do dinner. And I was like, oh, good. I was like, I can get a little nap in or go to sleep. So I hit him up and then I realized, I was like, wait a second, dude. If I try to take a nap, I'm probably not going to get my bitch ass up until I get a full sleep. So probably not a good idea that I take a nap. Right. So I try to hit him back and like, hey, dude, let's just do it at 2 o'clock. But things have already been set in motion. And I was like, all right, no problem. Oh, so now at this point, it's like 3 something. So I'm like, well, now I can't go to sleep because we were setting up at 4. So.
Delayed your sleep. It was
needless to say, we're here though.
You're functioning very well for a person that has not slept for
I know.
very long.
That is the power of coffee, I suppose. That and hiccups, I guess.
Hiccups, Jesus.
Yeah, but no, gaming wise, it's been a pretty solid week. Just getting down on, my goodness, I'm gonna have to. I am so sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Yeah, just basically, I played a little bit of Helldivers 2. They had a recent update, so I've been enjoying some of that. Getting back into Dynasty Warriors, Warriors Abyss. Playing a little bit of that on the side as well, but I didn't get a ton of gaming and it's just been kind of busy work-wise and stuff. But there's been a ton of news, a lot of things happening, a lot of things coming up in gaming. So this is where things get exciting again for us. Obviously, we've got Switch 2 coming out next week, or this week, I mean, basically, and Summer Game Fest, like you said. So I'm just pumped. And then forefront, my priority gaming wise is going to be, we're almost finished. We'll have the precinct review coming out here soon. And then I've got to put the time into Death Stranding. Death Stranding 2 is around the corner and I cannot slip on this. So the focus is going back on Death Stranding 2. So I did start Dead Cell though. I did start playing Dead Cell. I heard good things about it. I was like, oh, let me hop into it. So I've been playing that a little bit as well.
Oh,
so what's up, General? You're a troublemaker.
That's cool, man, dude. That's cool, man. You're just all over the place, though. I mean, that's awesome.
I am.
You're like, I like that you're going back to older games, like with Dead Cell and all this different kinds of stuff. So, like,
dude, it's the portal.
It's
the portal.
Really. It's
just being able to have
the portal is causing you to go to indies
because it's so easy just to hop in and I don't have to connect to my PlayStation. I can just go on to the online service and anything in the PS Plus games is like, oh, let me try out this game. I've been meaning to try out this, and having it handheld, dude, it's so easy and convenient to do. It's been a great way to start like attacking the backlog a little bit.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, at least you're definitely using it. That's the one thing I was worried about. And you know what? To be honest with you, right now the official the Sony Play Days or whatever the official thing, it's on sale right now. So keep that in mind. So like you can get the I think you can get the Portal for $169 right now. So
damn.
Yeah. So
not only that, but this is the lowest price you'll probably ever see the PSVR 2 at $350.
Yeah. That's crazy to even think of that, but no, that's awesome. Good time to pick it up and stuff. So yeah, that's very true. I mean, but man, that's awesome, man. Well, hopefully after this, definitely get your rest, man.
Nah, I'm taking my ass, but no, I'm not. I'm actually not going to, because if I do, then I'm going to wake up super early. So I'm going to try to be a normal person, go to bed at a normal time tonight, and then we'll reset for the week and be back on a normal schedule.
That's
fingers crossed.
Good. Fingers crossed.
What about you, brother? Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Well, call me Z. Just says backlog filler arc is a good time. I'm finishing Blood Rain 1 and 2. See, Blood Rain 1 and 2.
I haven't played either of those. They are in my list.
That's a PS2 game. Yeah, I think it's a underrated game. I mean, it's not like the best. I'd say Blood Rain's the best for I would say classify it as a AA. If anything, at best, it would be a AA, but it's definitely worth checking it out. But that's cool. That's awesome, Z. As for me though, like I've just been I'm always busy as always, but this week I'm just getting ready because this week is going to be probably one of the most busiest times because tomorrow I decided you know what, I haven't streamed a game for in a while. I want to stream Monster Hunter Wilds, and because I need to get the Akuma skins because right now Monster Hunter Wilds is you have a skin for Akuma from Street Fighter, and then now from what Pop told me before the podcast, they're also allowing weapon skins, which is amazing because the one thing I loved was some of the weapons look really dorky, but there's these certain ones that you're just like, I really wish I could make a skin for this weapon. So cannot wait for that to come in. So I'm going to stream that tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, I am definitely picking up. I'm pretty sure Smitty. Oh no, you're waiting. It's going to be mailed to you. But I'm going to GameStop to pick up my Switch 2. Debating if I want to do a stream of Mario Kart Party or Super Mario Party or what it was called, the new Mario Kart game. Yeah. I'm on the fence on that.
If you do, let's be friends and connect our cameras.
I am not doing any camera. Oh my god! 380p. We can see the high effects of 4. Lord. It's just terrible. Lord. It looks so bad. It's so terrible. Yeah. So we'll see on that. That's gonna happen. Then on Friday, I'm gonna be doing a live stream for Summer Game Fest. If you're wanting to check us out on that, it's gonna be really fun. Getting our raw reactions on that. Unfortunately, Smitty won't be available, but Pop will be. So it's gonna be me and Pop doing it. So that's gonna be really fun. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing the Xbox Showcase reveal too. So definitely looking forward to checking that one out too. So this week is going to be really crazy. And then plus, I'm also doing a small revamp of my setup too while I'm at it. So hopefully by Sunday, all of it's going to be said and done. So looking forward to checking all that out. So this is going to be funny. Ed Chang on YouTube says, I also want in on the Mario Kart Online camera session. It's like,
that's my buddy Chang. Changster. He is also in. Absolutely, my friend.
Oh man, that's freaking hilarious. Oh my god, this would be terrible. Like, can you imagine? No, I can't even imagine
amazing.
That.
It's going to be amazing. You used the wrong word.
The skipping the frames, that would so irritate me.
Oh no, that is not going to be like, no.
It's going to be so choppy and distorted and stuff.
But I have to use it because it's a feature that's included. I feel like I have to.
You know what?
I want people to see my potato quality face passing their asses on the track. Just smiling. Bye.
You need to have like a good freeze frame shot of you just be like deuces or something like that or something. Yeah. That would be. You know what? I might retract. I think I might retract my previous statement. That actually does sound pretty fire right there in itself.
That's great content right there, baby.
It's like negative 140 frames per second. Love it. It is going to be such a mess, dude. I'm just not even looking forward to that mess. But anyways, but I know y'all don't want to be seeing a rolling dumpster fire of Mario Kart camera technology. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion in the world of video games. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we do not want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch and on YouTube, to be a part of the conversation as always. So if there's something you wanted to chime in about, wanting to put your 2 cents in, by all means, we encourage it. Just type it inside the chat and we will discuss it with you and go from there. So since I didn't really give a order, I will go first on this one. And I was just like kind of sitting back because this is like, the calm before the storm. We're on the beginning of the week recording this. So this is like stuff hasn't happened yet. But like we're gonna have a fun this is gonna be a wild week of just announcements, of just new technology pushing out, and just so many different things and so many different aspects that it's gonna be impossible to keep up with everything. So I was just kind of wanting to kind of go on the outside that the about the Switch 2, first off, the Switch 2 is coming out Wednesday. I'd have to say that GameStop, this is a weird take for me, but like to say that GameStop has probably been the best experience for a reservation for I've ever had for a gaming console, period. Like bar none. Like, isn't it weird to say? Not only that, you know what they did? They actually did, because they used to do this a long time ago for games and stuff. They used to call you like maybe 3 or 4 days before the game saying, hey, just want to let you know that you reserved this game from us and you could pay it all off and, give the thing. They did the same thing for the Switch 2. They gave me an outline of what they were going to do. And they were like, they told me like, oh, you can come in at 3:00 on Wednesday, pay if you have anything, just get your finalized receipt from us on 3:00. And then we're going to be doing a midnight release at the store that you could be there at 11 and you can just go pick up the game or pick up your system and then just go at that point. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is pretty good service how it is. But like, I guess like my thing is that I'm hoping like, I guess the real thing is like, what's your expectations of the system? Because like, it's hard to kind of, from what I'm gauging on the system itself, I don't really have a care or a FOMO for it itself. I just had the opportunity to pick it up. I had an opportunity to get you a copy or a chance to reserve it, which is cool too, and stuff. But like, even if I didn't get it, I don't feel like I would be losing anything on it so far. But like, some of the things that are a little discerning to me, like the game key thing just really kind of puts a really big damper on what I'm wanting to do for it. But the man, have you seen the amount of money it costs just to increase the size of the hard drive space for the system? It's just ridiculous. Although Walmart threw their bells threw something in with their ONN systems, and it's like $60 for a 512 gig card, but like it's still expensive. It's just ridiculous. Like, what are your expectations overall for the Switch 2? Like, and like, what are you expecting? Besides, I know, like you said, we know that you're a Mario Kart fan, a huge Mario Kart fan. But like, overall, what's your overall take when you look at it on the outside in a non-objective way of what you're thinking the system is going to be, and where Nintendo's leading from everything that you've seen?
Well, it's funny that you say this too. My buddy Tony on LinkedIn had reposted the speech from E3. I want to say it was Reggie. What's his name? Reggie Fils-Aimé. Fils-Aimé. He was talking. It was a release for a console, and he was talking about why Nintendo was so great. And he was like, we understand people want games, this and that. They don't want things that are just better. They want things that are new. And basically Reggie was explaining how incremental increases will be the death of video game companies. That's what Nintendo did best. That's what Nintendo does. Every iteration has been some sort of different nuance or something different. The difference between now is that they are, what I feel too, and I think that this goes back to that speech, is they are now doing exactly what he's talking about. this is an incremental increase from the Switch to the Switch 2. Yes, there's a few different mechanics like the mouse, but again, even that, Nintendo used to basically spotlight the changes, the innovative stuff that they were doing, the differences. We got in that first trailer a 3-second shot of the mouse or of the mouse like thing, like, and they didn't even say anything about it. We just saw it sliding around like, is there a mouse functionality? The Switch 2 to me is an incremental increase that I don't think they have done. And again, it's hard to say because I don't have the console in my hands. It's so right now for me, and I've never had a chance to test it or anything like that. So I don't know, but I mean, everything about it seems un-Nintendo. It seems like the safe route that most gaming companies would take. Hey, the Switch did great. Let's just improve into, the Switch 2. This essentially is your pro model. I feel, well, maybe not. I don't know. But it feels like it's just a pro model of the Switch. There's nothing different about the console, really, from the Switch, other than like internal parts. That's not the stuff that gamers are really going to get excited about. And I think that I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, because I understand from a business standpoint that absolutely makes sense. Hey, this was super successful. Let's just build off of this super successful thing, right? But that's not what makes Nintendo. So I feel like their core, the heart of their company has almost been taken out of this console for the first time that they've been in the game, in the video game aspect of it. So I'm like you. I don't have that FOMO. I never had that FOMO. I said, yes, I'm in day one if there's a new Mario Kart. But Davis, the only reason that you had to even ask if about the reservation and stuff was because I wasn't really looking that hard. I didn't do like we did for PlayStation 5 and we're sitting there on multiple websites freaking looking like assholes. Like it was in the cart. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I didn't have that with this, and what I do like, and what kind of speaking to what you're talking about with GameStop and my friend Tony was talking about is that like, this might be one of the last times that we get a midnight release of a console. And I'm asking for you, Davis, please document it. Please document it, because I don't know. I don't know if this might be the last one or one of the last few that we see. So I think that's an experience that is definitely worth documenting, just to feel that energy, see how the crowd is, see how the crowd feels about the game. If they feel the same way that we do, like people are excited to get it, but if we didn't get it, we'd be like, meh, all right, cool. So what are your thoughts on it, Pop? Where are your feelings at?
I'm not really sure how to feel, because I don't really have any intentions of getting the Switch 2 anytime soon. I'll probably get it at the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year. It's just when I saw it, I thought I was going to see something a little bit more innovative from them. I also thought that the game lineup could have been a little bit better. Like, there's a lot of things that are coming where it's just like, oh, it's a bunch of upgrades. It's a bunch of upgrades. Like, Mario Kart is probably the biggest innovation they have right now in terms of like Nintendo first party games. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, it's just like, Kirby's coming out, and I don't feel like I'm gonna get spoiled from a Kirby game. Like, I like Kirby games. I love the music for them and everything, but I'm not pressed. It's the same thing with the Yakuza 0 director's cut. Like, the minute they said, oh, it's just going to be on the Switch 2 for a limited time, I was like, well, there's no point in me getting a Switch 2.
Yeah.
If it's just going to be on. Yeah, it's not an exclusive. So, like, if it was, I definitely would have gotten a Switch 2. But because it's not much of a deal breaker for me.
Wow, for Yakuza 0? I thought Yakuza 0 was your least like one.
I hate speed running it.
Oh. Okay.
Because Nishiki is a jerk. Granted, he's already a jerk before Zero existed, but he's a jerk.
That's fair. That's fair. But you know, it's actually got.
I'm going to trigger my QTE when I want to. Screw you. Just die already. I'm sorry.
Just make things up. Well, clearly you have a PTSD moment there. So definitely.
I recently replayed Zero, but fortunately he didn't do it. So
the pain is still fresh.
There it is. Yeah. That's the funny thing. But here's the thing, though, for me, because like the way I'm looking at the Switch 2, it's because I totally agree that I feel like it is just a half step. I won't even say a half step. It's actually quite a gigantic step for how big the system itself is. Because I mean, the original one felt like it was really underwhelming relatively when it came to power and, you know, sources and stuff. Like I think the one I always go back to is always Pokemon. Like the way it played Pokemon games on that system was atrocious. To say that was worse on that system than it was on handhelds, or it's just sad to see, especially since Pokemon's a huge pillar for Nintendo. But like now, the way I'm looking at the Switch 2 isn't more. I mean, maybe it's because this is the opening release, and I know. And then what's funny when you're saying documentation, like the reason why I'm kind of wanting to bring this one up is to kind of go back to hopefully they prove us wrong in what we believe in what Nintendo is doing with the Switch 2. But the way I'm looking at the Switch 2 itself is that it feels that it's a $450 upgrade to like a PS5 Pro to a Switch Pro and stuff. So all the issues that were issues for games that we were having on the original Switch is now a thing in the past on the Switch 2. You know, even though the mods and the versions of those games are not being like that they're being emulated in the Switch 2, not being run by the physical like, you know, equipment that the Switch 2 has, is more of a reason too. It's kind of like, oh man, are you serious? Like the one of the things besides Mario Kart that I'm looking forward to try and playing, it's actually playing Pokemon Scarlet or Violet again, just to see how good of an enhancement it's gotten. Because like I was thrown back on how bad Violet and Scarlet was playing. It was like, what is going on at Game Freak for y'all to release this game? Like, it didn't even make any sense.
The bloopers were great.
Exactly. The bloopers were great on like both of them, like Sword and Shield and on Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet was just like, what is this? Like, why? Why is this even something? You know?
How did you guys get away with that?
Yeah, I don't know how you got away with it. Like when they said like, oh, we're gonna release the expansion and stuff, it's like, y'all need to fix y'all's game before y'all decide to put more money into it. But yeah, so like things like that, it's just so crazy. And then also on top of that, the big thing for me is the game keys. Like that thing is like you're forcing indies to basically say you're going to have to either go, it's digital or bust on my system. When ironically, the thing that made the Switch so good was the indies that were being put on that system immediately. It was a good place to play some crazy indies for a low cheap price and stuff, and let them do whatever they were wanting to do. And then you were very welcoming when it came to like, you know, the keys and the cartridges and stuff. But no, not this time. It's like now people who are physical collectors are basically saying, okay, this may not be the best system to get this, and hopefully it doesn't spread is the one thing I am praying to God on, because like I don't like digital. Like, I mean, there are times and there's things that justify having a digital copy, and but for me to say that like there's no other alternative unless it's limited run games, which I am not paying a cent on anything from limited run anymore. Yeah, because limited, that's a long story in itself. I'm not, it's just, but or you have to go full digital for the system. It's like, it's terrible. Then now you got companies like Sega partnering with limited run and doing things like that with like Shinobi and all this different kinds of stuff, which really upsets me for it, because like, man, I don't know, man. Like, but we'll see. Well, I'm trying not to be negative about it, but like I am
it's hard not to be though. It's hard not to be like have like a a pessimistic viewpoint of it, just I guess because of what we've come to expect of Nintendo. But again, it makes sense business wise. For me, I swear, if there is freaking Joy-Con drift, I'm finding Furukawa, I'm finding Bowser, and I'm double slapping them. I swear, dude, because that is the biggest thing that I hated about the Switch. I hate the Joy-Cons because of the drift. The drift absolutely made me have a hard time playing that. I have to play pro controllers, which of course then limits the games I can play on things like Mario Party. Because that would require, but hey, I don't want to play that because it always goes up or it always goes to the right. And like, it makes me want to smash things. So I'm telling you guys, if that ain't fixed, dude, there is going to be hell.
That's funny.
It's going to be hell.
Oh, what's it called? Well, you know what I think though too? I think also the problem with Nintendo when it comes to that is that Furukawa isn't like from the Nintendo ether. He's a straight up businessman, 100%. Like he doesn't have any. Yeah, he has no kind of like, you know, anything in the game itself, in the game in gaming, it's in general, which I think that's showing,
part of the problem.
Yeah, which kind of clearly shows that's what they're wanting. What they're looking is profit margins, and I mean, and it's like, and that's it's a slippery slope where they're going to lead to that direction.
But
yeah.
You know what? Again, going back to what Reggie's speech was about and stuff like that, was that Nintendo understood gamers, what gamers like and stuff like that. And like other big companies, they too seem to be kind of moving away from that, putting out subpar products and shit like that because money.
Yeah. I should have just reserved the Malarmo and just called it a day. You know, we'll see. But anyways, I mean, I know, but besides Nintendo's official release, I hope everyone else is going to be getting it. I'm actually interested. Tell me what y'all think about the Nintendo Switch 2, what y'all's expectations and stuff. Leave a comment in below on our YouTube page. It'll be pretty cool itself. But as for like Summer Game Fest, is there any expectations or what y'all are expecting in Summer Game Fest, or something that you're wanting to hear more about that's coming this Friday?
They had the licensing expo, and Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio had a showcase there. So I'm thinking we might hear something about those two games at Summer Games Fest, especially since they're on the slot for a 2026 release. They might come out sooner. Don't know. But we might hear something about that. Recently, they did an advertisement for Sonic Cross World, so something about that. What I really want to hear news on is Dragon Quest 12. Back in March, the director was just like, we're still working on it. April, we'll have news for y'all in May. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link gets canceled. Director for Dragon Quest 12. I'm here to reassure you, Dragon Quest 12 was not canceled. I might be coping here, but I'm assuming all of this Dragon Quest 12 talk, but not showing anything, like maybe something at Summer Games Fest will happen. I don't know. If we don't see that, we'll see something else with Dragon Quest related there.
You just want some Dragon Quest. That's what it sounds like. You're like thirsty for Dragon Quest as of late.
12 got announced years ago. Like this is reaching cyberpunk levels of was announced, has yet to be released.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised on how long 12, like the bracket, like sequels to Dragon Quest take long time. It takes very long time, which is weird because it feels like the game, like aesthetically, isn't as like, you know, graphical driven as what Final Fantasies are. You know, like, and I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that that's where it's at. And then maybe because, I don't know, maybe because when the Kira Toriyama died and all these different kinds of things may have happened into a effect and may have steamrolled it to go into a different kind of deal. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing Dragon Quest 12. It will be a weird flex that they're like, we're going to release the 3D 2D version. We're going to release 1 and 2 and then not going to show anything about 12 that we've announced a year ago. It's crazy. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, well, that'd be pretty cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something for Kingdom Hearts 4. I would love to see something from, what's it called? Wolverine? Is that still a game that's happening? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, it is. It isn't the time limit up for Sony exclusives where they said no, they weren't doing anything until 2026. 2026 is next year. They got to show us something that is not Ghost of Yotei.
Think that we would. Yeah, I would think that they will start teasing for next year, knowing that this year we weren't really getting any major IP releases or anything like that. So I better see some Wolverine. That's all I got to say. It's been too long since it's been announced and whatnot. We gave you guys time. Come on now, people. Is this game really happening or what?
This isn't with any specific game, but with this being the golden age of reboots or seeing classics come back with sequels or remakes and things, I'm expecting, I don't know which one, but a game that people have been wanting a reboot or remake of could potentially get announced at Summer Games Fest.
It's probably likely.
I'm sure that. Yeah. For sure.
This is I
don't know because Sega, Square Enix, and Capcom have been like nailing it. Like even Koei Tecmo with freaking Ninja Gaiden 4. Mm-hmm. Like no one was expecting it.
Yeah, Sega Sega just announces, "Hey, we're remaking Kid Chameleon or Altered Beast."
That would be very interesting. Nuts.
That would be so
nuts. But yeah, I think another reboot or remake announcement is one that people have been waiting on is probably bound to happen.
Maybe you think we'll see anything from Final Fantasy VII?
No,
or is it still too? When the newest one came out? What, last year?
I still haven't played it.
I don't know because Square did that weird announcement saying that they wanted to focus more on their flagships, and Dragon Quest is their flagship. So I don't know.
I mean, it's
so I think they're leaning towards Dragon Quest and Kingdom Hearts right now rather than Final Fantasy because they felt that the partnership with Sony kind of hurt their sales. So I don't know what they're gonna.
There's no way that we're going to be seeing more Kingdom Heart information than we're going to see for Final Fantasy.
You don't think so?
No way. Because
I mean, especially after them just canceling the other one. Like, I mean, at least give your fans something to chew on.
Dude, Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3 took 15 years in the break. You're telling me,
man, I'm just trying to be optimistic for them, all right?
I'm just saying that between Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy is still a moneymaker, and it's not the number one, obviously, but it's still up there as a big AAA. Because look at the amount of money they were dishing out for the remake of 7, and look what they did with 16. So
what what if we get an announcement for Final Fantasy 17?
No, it's too early. I think it's too
early.
I think
it's too early for that.
Yeah.
How long has it been since 16 came out?
2 years. So did it come out?
2 or 3 years.
Did it come out in 23? I think it came out 23. Yeah, it came out in 23.
Yeah, 23. Yeah, it's still a little too early for a 17 announcement.
It's still early. Yeah. I mean,
now I could see them doing another. Maybe like a remaster or a remake rather than a full-on reboot like they've done.
Well, they were talking about Final Fantasy IX remake for a long time.
Ooh, that's right.
And they were talking about Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger remake.
Oh, that's right. I would gobble that up. Give it to me.
I'm actually kind of worried about the Chrono Trigger one. Final Fantasy IX would be awesome. Yeah, dude, like...
That is a classic. That is classic.
Chrono Trigger still looks good for even as old as it is now, as it is. And so it's hard to say because of the pixel, like the 16-bit pixelation kept its age. It kept it to make it look good. You know, it's not like 3D and all that stuff. I don't know if it needs it, but like now 9. Debatable. I mean, I think I'll play either way because 9 is my favorite Final Fantasy. So like, but we'll see. Like, we'll see, dude. I'm always kind of hesitant when it comes to this kind of deal, especially if they're going to be penny pinching now with the money and especially on their directions or what they're doing for their titles and stuff. So,
and I'm just going to throw this out there. I think we might also see another video game by a Chinese studio. They've been
going ham.
Yeah, they've been going pretty ham with their Souls-like or action-based games, and I think we might see another one either get announced or one that got announced and will get released because I know they have issues getting publishers and things. So we might see one that was announced and they finally got a publisher, and we'll get a date for one of those.
You know what? The one thing I think it's time for a new Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil 9 is going to
Yeah.
be announced.
I think we might see a new Resident Evil.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll even add to that. We might see a new one plus a remake. Because didn't the remake and a new one come out on the same year?
I don't know. Well, okay, so
or they were like close to each other.
They were super close for sure.
Yeah, they did announce that I think they're remaking Code Veronica. So I don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure they did announce that they did a quote on that they're going to be releasing a Code Veronica remake. But it's been what 3-4 years between Village and nothing. So I think we're in time for a new one. For it. So we'll see. I think that's going to be a big one.
We might also hear something about Project Century because it would have been 4 years in development. Well, maybe even longer than that. I just remember back in 2021, RGG was like, yeah, we're working on a game that isn't one of our, it's a brand new IP. Mm-hmm. So they've been working on it for a long time. So we might see some more information on that.
Aren't you kind of worried about RGG kind of spreading themselves a little thin with the Like a Dragon and then the Virtua Fighter reboot and all this stuff? Like, I mean, they're not a big team.
They will be fine. They did Super Monkey Ball and they did Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble, and Infinite Wealth in the same year. I'm sorry, got it.
Crazy.
Super Monkey Ball is literally a ball in a track. You're good.
Have you played the Ultra EX levels? Oh my god! It will make you crash out immediately.
Okay. I will try it. I'm not gonna throw any shade at Monkey Ball. Monkey Ball is tight.
Yeah. Listen, the base game is fine. Once you get to New Game Plus and New Game Plus, that's when you start crashing out.
New Game Plus? Oh my god.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
And you know it's bad that before they release the New Game Plus, when one of the people that works on the team is just like, yeah, this stuff is hard. Good luck, y'all. Just like, y'all hate us.
It's like one of the developers. We didn't even beat it.
Exactly. They were pretty much like, I had a hard time with these levels. Good luck.
He's like, have fun. Good luck, guys. It's like, oh my god. All right, but yeah, so like I said, big week of gaming. Can't wait to see. I can't wait to get our reactions. I can't wait to mess around with the Switch 2 when it comes out. So yeah, so there you go. Oh, also a little bit of a tidbit if it's not too late. Staples of all places are also going to be carrying the Switch 2. This Switch 2.
I didn't even know Staples still existed.
I didn't either. To be fair,
I always forget Staples exists, but I randomly found out while I've been on my PC search. I'm just like, Staples?
Staples. I know, right? Staples.
What the hell?
Staples and Office Depot. Those are the two that they always look like ghost towns. Like, have you ever been to one that looks like, there's those stores where you're like wondering, how are these places open? Like Arby's.
Yeah. Why? Why are you so open?
Why are they still open? It's so weird. But okay, but that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Pop, you're at bat. What are you bringing to the table?
So recently, one of the former PlayStation bosses had an interview. If you're interested in who, it was Shuhei Yoshida. He had an interview where he talked about how he felt subscription services like Xbox Game Pass could become dangerous for developers. Some of the key points from this being, PlayStation Plus, their model, the game comes out premium, comes out later PS Plus for free once they feel that, and these are his words, once they feel that they have achieved or exhausted the potential sales for a game. And this could be for any game that either they've done or if they feel like a third-party game on their system has reached all of the potential sales it possibly could on that platform, they then put it on PS Plus. So he says that Xbox Game Pass model is dangerous because of the launch release. The game eventually goes away, and his bigger question is, what is happening to the money? Because the type of games that you create will be dictated by the ownership of subscription services. So I just wanted to know what you guys' thoughts are on that. Do you think that the first day launch on Game Pass will affect the quality of games that Xbox does, especially with their exclusives coming out on Game Pass immediately. Third party devs, they can kind of get away with it because they're not only putting it on Xbox, but for Microsoft themselves, do you think this is do you think this is dangerous for the devs as Yoshida has presented, or what do you guys
Yoshida, would you say? What did you say he does again?
So Shuhei Yoshida,
he was the former PlayStation boss.
Yeah, he retired.
Okay.
He's retired now, but like he was a big deal though. For literally, he was there since day one, and then he just retired literally like 6 months ago. Now I will say this because like this is something that I've like I know because like I've always thought about it because I never understood Xbox's model of this like because like I understand that it is virtually impossible to see if this game is a hit or if it's successful or if it's not successful in the eyes of Xbox when it comes to this kind of thing because first off they don't tell you in the numbers. Secondly, since it's online and since it's bulked up, like they're treating it like Netflix, you know, like you just bought a subscription to their service. How can you say that specific game is successful? But if your person just clicks on it or just downloads it, how does that transform into money? That's being that's being meant for that. I never understood that for the longest of time. And then to show Yoshida's point, like saying like how this is going to be in the long run with it. In a way, you can kind of see it now, like how they're doing it because since Microsoft is not broke down that barrier of making everything exclusive under the Microsoft platform, and now it's being moved over to Nintendo and to PlayStation. Like some of that money is also being bought by those third parties. Now, is it enough to say that like will PlayStation players play Forza 5 or something like this and then keep up the hype for it? It's hard to say because like I said, they don't tell you the numbers. They don't tell you how many hits or stuff that you're getting. Maybe PlayStation will, but I honestly don't know. But that's always been a concern of mine about Game Pass because like Game Pass is such a great deal. It is an incredible deal for a gamer to be able to say, we're getting day one games. We're getting South of Midnight. We're getting freaking Oblivion. We're getting all these different kinds of awesome AAA level games at day one, but you're not paying a cent. You're just paying a flat fee of $25. I don't know what it is now, $25 maybe, I guess, but like a flat fee to show that you're able to play these amazing games on it. But at the same time, like, oh, that's awesome that the consumers are happy. But how is this going to be like, you know, keeping the lights on for these AAA studios like Bethesda or for like or big companies like the big like AAA studios that they'll be able that needs income to come with it. I guess the one good side about all of this is that it's owned by Microsoft and Microsoft specifically has bottomless pockets. But if it was any other company, you wouldn't understand it. It would not work. It shouldn't work the way it is. And that's and I see it's a really valid thing. Like, I mean, like I basically just don't understand how they what constitutes with Xbox a success for these kind of games. And I could totally see Yoshida thought it was kind of like on the same page here. It's like I don't understand that, like how they can claim that they're doing a great job. So that, I mean, that's to me. What do you think?
I also wonder if Yoshida's concern comes out of thinking about third party too, because a lot of indie games end up on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. I think they get screwed, especially
first day.
They have to get screwed. I mean, unless they do it like how Sony does it, which is that they pay a specific amount of money for that for them to be put into their ether.
That's the only way I could think it would be worth it for. Yeah.
But like from the most part, because they're definitely not getting royalty. They can't get royalty from a rental fee, especially for $25. Yeah. So yeah, that's the only way I could see them doing it. And this is all speculation because like we don't know what the hell they're doing on the back end side of Microsoft.
No.
That is a tough. I agree. I do agree with Yoshida in terms of it's weird because I think a lot of it has to do. We don't understand the back end financials, but I can't imagine that a company would say yes to something that they're not able to profit from. So out the gate, I imagine they're able to get some sort of profit from that, or at least break even. Otherwise, I can't see how it would be worth it for them to put their game on this subscription service that's now available to millions of people. And my guess would be that majority of them are not going to go out of their way to then go and purchase the game afterward when they had full access to it off of this subscription service. So that in itself, you know what I mean? Like, we're missing information for that to make sense to us. I think the other thing too is, and this is, you know, this is the former boss. If you look at Sony, they're also doing this, not as frequently, but Sony now also releases day one games. So there's got to be something there. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like there's some that have come out on Sony as day one as well. So there's something back end wise, I would think, that makes it worth it then to the dev companies to be able to do this. And they've got to be looking at not only in the immediate time, but then looking at how is this going to affect our future sales as well, the longevity of a game. To me, it makes more sense if you were doing something that was like live service, ongoing, whatever. You're going to be able to generate income. Doesn't matter if it's on a subscription service, because you probably have other ways of being able to monetize. Now, when you look at like single player games and stuff like that, that to me is where it becomes problematic, because I can burn through a game. Most people can burn through a game. Shit, it doesn't even take people a couple days half the time now. But for your casual gamer, I can get through a game in like a week or something. So, you know, by the time it's pulled, I've already played the game. Me, myself, personally, I'm typically I played the game once. I'm probably not going to go back to it unless there's like more stuff to be able to do. But if I do really like a game, or there's something, or there's DLC, I personally have no problem throwing some ducats, because I feel like I've gotten this experience, this great experience from them. I've got no problem. I want to directly contribute to them because I enjoyed their game, and I want to continue supporting them so they continue making more good games or adding to this game that I enjoyed. So, you know, it's I feel like we are in a weird transitional time, and this isn't only happening in the video game space. If you look at the streaming services, what does streaming basically become again? It is cable TV, folks. We went from cable TV to streaming because we hated cable TV. Then we're going to streaming, and now they've turned streaming into cable TV again. I hate it. I hate it. Commercials. That was the whole point. So we didn't have commercials, you assholes.
But here's what the
Don't
thing
make me pay more money. Come on now. Like, I already paid you the money. I already have Amazon Prime. Why am I watching freaking commercials on Invincible? I couldn't watch it. I watched one episode of the latest season, dude, because I refuse to watch commercials.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do it.
That's where we're at right now when it comes to commercials and stuff. But I will say this though, when you said that, like, you don't see, I mean, you're thinking logically, I mean, real logically, where you're like saying you don't see a company saying yes to this plan unless they're getting something out of it. However, like, that's what Square Enix is probably the prime example of it, in my opinion, because like they've done exclusivity deals. They knew that, like, I mean, if they're going to pigeonhole, and it's not even just to Sony, but it primarily was Sony. But you remember, like, in the original when Tomb Raider was under Xbox or Square's name or Square's titles, like, it was exclusive to Xbox, and they realized how shitty it sold. And stuff, and they've done, I mean, like, and then when it went to Game Pass and stuff, I'm pretty sure that they were like, okay, some sort, like, you know, they there was a little bit of an upsurgence, but it was way too late. I just don't see, like, how you could say how, like, even though I think there's a time and a place for these monthly things, but if you're saying that for a game itself that's cost $70 to $80 to pay for the game, because like 90% of the times when you buy a brand new game, 90% of that goes directly to the developer, and then and then a little bit of it goes to who sold it and stuff like that. So they're getting a lot per game, per unit for those kind of games and stuff. But like, but then you're saying that $90 AAA game is now free day one, a part of the ether of all of this, like of like the Game Pass spectrum of this. You don't own the game, you're technically renting the game out, and you're paying a flat fee of $25. I just can't spin it in any way of like how that would be successful. Like can you imagine if Cyberpunk was sold that way? There's no freaking way that I don't think we would see DLC like or any of that stuff, like or right. Like to see, because they would be losing money. I mean, I don't see how they would like they get money back, but the amount of money that they're getting back is nowhere going to be to the same levels of what they would have done if they sold it a little bit and then eventually gets put onto their deal, which I think that would be the only way that that I could see like third party companies be successful to it, because even though, and then I guess when you think about it even more now, most of these day one games are Xbox exclusive, like from Xbox. They're not from third parties.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that's the beauty of choice. They have a choice not to put themselves on a subscription service and pigeonhole themselves like that.
Yeah, so I think, and I think in this sense, like I said, like I think you have to be a company with big pockets to be like, I don't care about the numbers to do that. Like a Gears of War, Halo, all that stuff. We don't care about like the deals. As long as they know what they're getting into, then I guess then so be it, you know. But like other than that, like I do see a little bit of concerns of it when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. That's why I never buy it. I never touch it, Game Pass, because of that stuff. But yeah.
I think we also have to at least look at the non-monetary benefits of this as well, especially when it comes to smaller studios. You are now being exposed to millions of gamers. Marketing wise, that has a lot of value to a lot of studios. Mm-hmm. So I think, and like you're saying, I think it's more of a, you know, the companies or whatever kind of picking and choosing, is this going to be beneficial? And maybe not necessarily monetarily wise, but if we look at marketing wise, our studio that is relatively unknown is now being exposed to hundreds of millions of gamers.
Yeah.
We may not make money on this one, but the next game that we make, we now have some buzz about us and whatnot. So I could see the value there. But again,
yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that, but it feels that feels like the same kind of like conversation of like saying, hey, I can give you money, but instead of money, I'll give you exposure. I don't know if you can deal with that.
No, hold on. I don't think it's just exposure. They're getting money. They are definitely getting money. Yeah. It may not be like or it may be you're just gonna break even with the amount of money that we're going to give you, but think of the exposure.
Right. There are the pros and the cons of it, but I think at the same time, when it comes to an indie level, like the loss isn't as substantial as what it would be if you spend like a AAA title. Like, can you imagine if Concord was like free to play, and then they were like, oh, we're selling it for $40, and then how like how bad of a destructive force that game itself was, and then they were depending on that money to come in for it. But then if you made it free to play, but yeah, because he spent over $300 million on that deal, you know. It's just
I saw a meme the other day how it was like, how did Concord get greenlit, but like it was another game that ended up getting canceled.
It didn't make any sense.
Supposed to be dope. It's like, how did that get the green light but not this?
It's like, just stay in your lane, Sony, on that. Don't do live services anymore, please, God.
They don't know. They don't even know what the hell they're doing, man.
Did you hear that there was that they found? So usually developers have like, you know, they give a gift or something once a game is complete. Did you hear that that there was a person that had like a plaque of Concord being sold, and it had that person's name, and it was on Goodwill's auction site. So they got rid of it on Goodwill, like to Goodwill to get rid of it, and then like But now it's at like $5,000. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's like, what is
course.
going on? Man, my
You
God,
hung on to that, maybe, buddy.
it is hilarious. But yeah, but no, it's very interesting. So I'd say I would totally agree with Shuhei Yoshida, because like for years I've always wondered how is this game. You and I even talked about this, but like how, like I don't understand how this plan is profitable to them. It doesn't make any sense to me. When it comes to like how many games, like and correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows how many games is on an active like Xbox Game Pass, like how many games are available?
I want to say it's like 200, 300, something like that.
Yeah, so
there's a good amount, and then they rotate. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if I could ever play an RPG.
Maybe
like
it might be. Hold on, let me just type that in before I just speak out of my butt here.
Was Expedition 33 a day one release game? It was.
Sir. It
okay,
sure was.
Actually,
it's great.
Well, but it wasn't great because it was on that system. It was great because the units sold was at, I think they're at 3-point-something million sold on the units, and in that case, it was because it was it was on Steam, and it was also on PlayStation 5. So like, I think that's the only way I could actually see like how they can constitute itself, like the balance of that. But it has to be a banger of a sale, but not on Xbox's platform. That simple as that. Three? What?
300.
Oh, 300?
It says an access over 300 console games.
Wow.
Oh,
shit,
wait.
yeah.
So actually, it might be more. I'm sorry. It says Game Pass Standard includes online multiplayer access to over 300 console games, while Game Pass Ultimate provides access to online multiplayer over 400 games on console and PC, including PC Game Pass and EA Play and Xbox Cloud Gaming.
Wait, is EA Play automatically included to that, or do you have to pay extra for it?
On Ultimate.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot. It's a lot of games.
Wow. Snake Eyes says, but then there's PC only games too, depending on which sub levels you have. Okay, I see. So that's how Game Pass works. Okay. Yep. I mean, it's not my bag. I'm not going to deal. We didn't even get your opinion on this, Pop. What do you think?
I'm not really sure, because it's just trying to process what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I guess I'm thinking about the PC only games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they got all the console stuff too, and then depending on which tier gives you access to stuff, and that's same with the PlayStation. Depending on the tier, you have access to certain things and whatnot, what have you. So
because I occasionally get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but I guess because I only got it for things on console, and I actually got it to get most of the champions in League of Legends. They were like, if you get Game Pass, you get them all for free. I'm like, okay, cool, bet, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As long as you have Game Pass, you can use any legend you want in League.
Does Microsoft own Riot Games?
No, it's just some kind of collab that they have going on.
Oh wow. Okay.
But thinking about it, I don't think I actually paid attention to like what PC exclusives they had. I don't know if that's like a marketing thing, or if like that was just like my brain being like, I got Game Pass, I get all my champions in League, I can get any game that I want to play on my Xbox. But
yeah, I guarantee you though, like if you want to go raw game, I bet you those numbers are atrocious. I mean, if I had to guess, it's what I would say, because like the
game by itself, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no way. I just don't see how the game would be successful. Like Starfield, I think like Starfield was a little bit blown up to a point because everyone had access to it immediately because it was a day one. But but they didn't say anything about how many people were buying the units or all this stuff, its stuff and everything. Like, I'd be lucky if it was like, would you consider that to be successful? Because the exposure of Microsoft and their ether was it. It's hard to say that's why it makes it very, very difficult to see, is this game successful? Like South of Midnight's another one too for me, because I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I don't see how this game is successful because like even though when I do watch it, it doesn't look the same as much as I thought it was going to be. But like it's exclusive on Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. So most people didn't have to buy the game if they just wanted to pay the $25 to just do it, and it's going to be there permanently because the Xbox owns it. So it's kind of like, so yeah. So it's hard to say.
It's weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know. I don't know if I trust it. That's the problem. Yeah, and I hope, and that's
one
why
thing that they like to do is we've hit X amount of players. I'm like, okay, how many copies sold?
Yes,
right.
Like,
are y'all
that's
okay?
Where it comes down raw. Yeah.
Are you going to go in the red? Do I need? Do you need some money?
Blink twice if you need help.
Are you going to do a GoFundMe on your next title? I mean, Jesus. Like you got big houses that are coming out. You got, I mean, like Blizzard's going to be a big one. It's a big one. You got freaking Bethesda that's coming in, that's coming in hot in all these different ones. Like the more I think about it, the more about this, the more I understand why they decided to go full publisher. Like, I mean, to other developers, because I don't see how they could increment this kind of budget for these kind of crazy ass games for even though that they are getting, millions of people are playing this game. Good for them. How much money are you getting out of all of them? I mean, that's where it comes down to. You're still a business when it comes to this. So we'll see. Yeah, no, very good topic though. I would definitely love that, Pop. Well, okay, let's close this off. Smitty, what do you got? What do you got for us? What are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, I'm going to keep this short. I know we're running a little long here. If you have not heard, but EA has officially canceled their Black Panther game that they had teased here. Was it this year or last year?
I think it was last year, either last year or the year before.
Or the year before, possibly. Yeah. It was something. And again, we didn't see anything about it. And there's a bit of a confusion as well, because there's also the Captain America 1943. I believe it's what it's called, which also has Black Panther in it. And but it's not the standalone Black Panther game. Excuse me. That they had talked about before. But, this kind of, to me, this isn't so much about the game being canceled. Number one, EA, what the hell is going on, bro? What the hell is going on? Y'all been on some shenanigans for a while, but I feel like stuff is getting ramped up more, but they're kind of falling in line with some of these other studios. Like what Square recently said, hey, we're going to step back. We're cancel some games. We're going to focus on these particular IPs. Essentially, that's what EA says that they are going to do as well. So their focus is going to be on the Battlefield series, which we know that the lab tests are going. The lab tests have opened up or are going to be opening up more. So no more people will be getting in. Yes, exactly. Battlefield. I know they're putting a heavy focus on Battlefield. The Sims, which, Lord, is The Sims 5 really going to ever come out? Maybe, now that they're going to focus on these IPs that have been making them money. Skate, which I don't know that I ever played the Skate series. That one kind of seems, is it really? I was like, It must be the fact that that's a franchise that they plan on focusing on. I was like, dude, I've never played any of those games, but okay. And then obviously Apex Legends is another focal point. We know that the Iron Man game, they're supposed to be still doing that. And then they're working on a third installment for the Star Wars Jedi series as well. Yeah. So I think as much as I would love to see, I love me some, I'm a sucker for some Marvel content and whatnot. And they do have a partnership with Marvel that they said this will not affect that at all in terms of that. So it's kind of weird that, why then did you guys decide that this ain't it? But they did make that decision. So I just kind of want people, see what people's thoughts were, seeing a lot more. Do you guys think we're going to continue seeing more companies saying we need to take a step back? We're going to focus on these particular franchises that are our essentially bread and butters. And then second spot to that is, do you also think this is going to kind of open up the doors for more of these indie studios to break into some of these different genres that kind of been monopolized by these bigger companies?
We're already seeing the dialing it back. I mean, Square Enix started off with that when they canceled or they discontinued Foam Stars last year. I'd even dial it back to even saying we saw this with Sega when they said they want Sonic to be as popular as Mario because of the Sonic unpopularity epidemic that's been happening in Japan.
That's like that. That's not even an epidemic, dude. That's been going on for years with Sonic.
Wait.
That's why I say
Maybe I don't know this.
It's a long epidemic. Sonic has not been popular in Japan.
Like Sonic?
No, mainly because it's more so accessibility and how he was marketed over there.
Utter garbage.
They figured it out with Sonic Frontiers because they absolutely loved Frontiers in Japan. But prior to that, how he was marketed and stuff, he's mainly been a flagship for the Western audience, not so much in Japan. But
okay,
yeah.
That makes sense. I
But I'll say we've been seeing. I'll say it this way: Japanese studios have started off with this first, which it's interesting to see how they've done it versus how Western studios have done it. Because Western studios are just like, oh, all right, we need to dial it back to our flagships. Let's just lay off all these people we hired on, instead of funneling those people into the games they want to work on. Meanwhile, Japanese studios like Capcom and Square Enix and Sega and even Koei Tecmo, who have all been pushing their flagships back out or like reworking their flagships or like honing in on those titles, we haven't really seen them have any, with the exception of the Sega layoffs in the US. That was a different thing. TLDR, America sucks. Japan couldn't step in to save the TLDR, the US sucks.
You know what though? This is what
they would have been saved if they would have allowed, because Japan wanted to step in. The headquarters in Japan wanted to step in, but there was some weird legal thing that happened under the under the US law with the labor union thing, and I'm like, y'all suck. But outside of that, we haven't seen like. They've been opening up, more studios. Like I think Nintendo has something new coming. Sega with the stores coming. All of their focus on their flagship titles, we've seen how they've honed them, and we've seen the result of them honing them. Like we're getting reboots of Sega classics, the Capcom Fighting Collection that just came out. We're starting to see all these remakes and reboots from these companies because they decided to hone in on their bread and butters. They made the dough that they needed to make to either reboot certain IPs, come up with new IPs. And unfortunately in the West, I think for the West, I don't want to say indie devs are going to be picking up the waves, but I think we're going to see a lot more indie devs in the West carrying the AAA studios on their shoulders.
I think it's going to be depending because EA has always been very weird when it comes to this. They've never really had a flagship. I mean, they've had known games that were under EA's titles, but they never really had a game that signifies this is what EA is. Maybe I guess
Sims.
Sports.
Well,
it's in the game.
EA Sports.
Tell me you ain't never heard that, son.
I just said Madden. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's sports lines, and stuff, but the
Sims is their flagship though. It's always been something
true.
that they've known for.
But the biggest thing is that EA has already said in the past that they are done. They don't want to do contractual agreements to IPs of movies and stuff like that. And then maybe this, and then I think with this is because if the projects that they're working on now, they haven't really said any future projects of anything that's coming out in the near future. So in my opinion, what I think they're doing is that they're consolidating. And they're saying, like, because like they're looking in the near future that they know that 1945 Marvel's 1945 or whatever is coming out. They said it was going to come out 25, but it got delayed. I think it's coming out in 26.
Yes.
As well as Star Wars, the next Star Wars game that they're releasing is going to be I believe it's going to be their final one as well. From the studio that did Apex as well. But like, I think that what they saw, like in Black Panther, they feel like maybe the length of time that was going to be coming out and the release for all of it might have been just too long for what their overall look and visions are going to be, because and in a way, I think it's way better to have instead of having the exclusivity deal, because I mean that's what Battlefront really burned them when Battlefront 2 really burned them when they were trying to go with the crazy hardcore microtransactions that happened in the past and stuff. And then looking at different Marvel games that we see to this day, like Spider-Man is now Insomniac, and you also have Marvel Rivals, which is NetEase, and all these different kinds of groups that are sharing the wealth of these other IPs instead of saying this is specifically EA. And especially the amount of money that they're putting for these kind of IPs, they're realizing we could put this money in just development. I mean, we could finally put our money into making Battlefield a contender against Call of Duty again, and stuff like that. So many different kinds of things. So, am I sad to see a Black Panther movie game not coming out? Yeah, I am. But at the same time, it's EA. Every time I look at a game and it's like, oh, this is an EA game, I always put that shade on it. And I'm totally fair with them wanting to do it. If it's, wanting to cancel this deal out outside of it myself.
And the crazy part too is that like they literally created a studio for this game. And then blindsided them and said, we're no longer doing this game. Yeah, Cliffhanger Games was created for this game. Yeah. So that in itself is mind-blowing.
And just in that story alone, it just makes more sense of why they didn't even care. They were just like, okay, whatever. They just blew it off. Okay, these dicks, dude. Seriously, like they'll never change, man. And
it's crazy because it was reported that they were recently ramping up their hiring.
It's ridiculous.
That's insanity. That is insanity. And a little side note as well. EA recently sold the license of WRC back to Nacon. So they're no longer in the simulator or sim driving game either.
They have F1. They have the F1 game.
Wait, what's the F1 game? They have an F1 game?
Yeah, EA has a. Hold on.
Because I know there was a thing with iRacing in that issue. WRC, which they said it was weird because I think it was like last year they said they're not going to be making any more. They're pausing development of those games. So there hasn't even been a new one since I think last year or the year before, something like that.
F1 25.
So they have that's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand like some of the moves. But let me ask you guys though too, with these companies, almost this like it almost feels like a culling and them trying to we're just gonna get back to this. Are you guys afraid that we're going to lose IPs that we care about and that we do want to see? Because if they're just focusing, and I don't know if them saying, hey, we're going to take our focuses and just focus on these franchises, does that mean they are going to completely just blow off some of these other franchises that they don't consider their flagship games? Like that's kind of scary because we could be losing a lot of IPs if they look to just focus on some of that stuff or not getting like.
So I think it'll be more so they just build up towards it. I mean,
also like a reset.
Anything, more like a reset. I don't think they're gonna do a Rockstar Games and forget Midnight Club exists, and we just never see that game ever again.
Wow. Midnight Club. What Midnight Club?
Clearly, that's not on the thought of your mind. Jesus, Midnight Club.
Okay.
No, the minute he said IPs that we love go away, like I enjoyed it. Like, granted, apparently the last one that they came out with sucked. I don't know. I didn't play it. Yeah, it's one of those games where I hear, but I kind of want to play it just to see how bad it actually was. I have that weird thing where it's like someone like it's just like this game was terrible, and I'm like, okay, well I'll play it and I'll see for myself. But Midnight Club was fire, and then they GTA 4 took off, and they just like forgot about it.
Said, why do I need this? That's like Fortnite and Paragon.
Yep,
all over again. And that's the fear that I have in that as well, is that there are IPs that we do enjoy, but they're like, look, we're gonna scale back, but I think it's different.
There's a little bit of a difference
from a reset. I don't think a reset button.
EA would be able to, GTA-ify The Sims and the sense that, it'll just go on forever, and then
that's crazy. You would think that that's the game that they would look at GTA 5.
They said that they wanted to stop doing the sequel titles. Like, it'll still be a simulation game. It'll be something new, but they wanted to stop numbered sequels or something like that. But I don't think they're gonna come out with a new Sims-esque game and then like completely ignore their other titles. It would tick off the entire Apex community, and I'd rather not hear them complain on Twitter.
Well, remember, Apex is on the list. They got nothing to worry about.
That's funny. But like,
I'll believe it when I'm actually drawn back into wanting to play Apex again.
Like looking into like an IP like exclusive on the system on the game like that, like for a company, it's always going to be a risk, I will say. But like, I guess though, looking at it in the aspects of an IP that's being bought, that the company bought the IP so they can make the game. I mean, I don't think I have anything to worry about when it comes to that. Like, it's not like EA is the only place to go for, especially they're big enough studios to be like, okay, we could do this. It's just really the gamble. It's like, how much money are they doing? What's the demand that the other studio is telling you that they have to do to make it? Like, for instance, like what's the upcoming game that's coming out from Microsoft? The Blade is coming. The video, there's a Blade
video game coming.
That's coming out, but that's coming.
How have I not seen this?
Oh yeah, they announced it. I believe the Game Awards, I believe. But like, like there's a Blade video game that's coming.
I'll play the shit out of it.
Yeah, completely different studio.
Now, Dotemu and Tribute Games could do the most disrespectful thing and add Black Panther as a DLC to the Marvel Comic Invasion game that's coming up, so we can use Black Panther as a beat 'em up character. That would be super funny if they did that. But if you do it, can I get some money for the idea? Thanks.
Right? You're welcome.
Yeah, but then when he pops up,
Snake Eyes said EA has Need for Speed too, I think.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about Need for Speed, dude. Yeah,
I forgot Need for Speed went from was it Criterion or like Nexon to EA?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Well, wait, no, Need for Speed. Well, it doesn't matter. No, Need for Speed's been on EA. It's been a title for EA for a long time, though. Like, but
it was with Criterion for a little while too, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure EA's always had it, but but I will say this though, like NFS is not really a simulator though; it's an arcade. So like,
yeah, that's true. That is true. Because and I only say that because again, I told you guys about how I took a trip to Kansas City here a couple weeks for eNASCAR and NASCAR. So like that racing world is another deep community that like they get into it. Not only that, but there's something very unique about a pipeline from simulation and racing to getting into a car or truck in racing. Raj just won a race the other day. That man came from freaking what was it, iRacing, and now is driving trucks and cars, which I think is really unique and something that we're starting to see a little buy-in from the actual sport. And I love to see that. I think that racing has a very unique place and community that would love to support more things. So to see them kind of getting away from that stuff too, which I think is probably for the better, because EA would no doubt drop the bag on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. Need for Speed, it has always been EA. So 94.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's cool.
94.
Yeah.
Damn.
I remember that.
Need for Speed is old.
Yeah,
it is
we
old. I forget how
yeah,
old
we
he
were there.
is. We were there.
We were there. Oh man. Yep.
We were there.
Says a lot in itself. Good old Davis and Smitty just chilling as Jimmy Davis and Smitty just messing around with the old different history of Need for Speed on the PlayStation 1. The old school show.
It's just we were there.
Yep. Yeah, we were there.
But now that I think about it, I actually played that game.
Yeah. That was actually my first game back on the PlayStation 1. Jesus. Oh, God. Man. Folks, thank you for listening to episode number 265 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. As always, we will be back again next week with a special time next week with a whole new set of different topics and discussions, probably a recap of everything that's happened the week that we're talking about right now. So if you did miss out on this episode, there's absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices. I said this in a weird way.
Ooh.
Yeah, we release all our podcasts at the beginning of each and every week, so definitely check us out there or go to our main website confreaksgeeks.com to check out the full archive of episodes that we have in the back in the day. So once again, this is Davis, Pop, and Smitty signing out. Y'all take it easy.